This is my grandmother's recipe for sourdough bread. My grandmother has made this bread so many times that there wasn't really a written recipe for me to follow, so I decided to write my own, and this is how I recall it being made. A quarter cup of starter, 1 cup of water, a third cup of olive oil, 3 cups of bread flour, and 1 teaspoon of salt. While you watch me make this bread, let me tell you why I chose bread of all things to share with you. My grandmother's bread is my favorite thing at Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. It's not exclusive to one holiday, it's always on the table. I can always count on warm bread with butter. You could say it's my bread and butter. It's so simple, yet I would notice if it were absent. I love this bread so much that my grandmother has often made an extra loaf special for me to take home after dinner. It's simple, it's not sweet, it is called sourdough bread, but it's my favorite part of every Thanksgiving. Here it is, the best part of any recipe, preparing it to be eaten. Watch as I struggle to slice the bread because I couldn't find a proper bread knife. Now that you know how I make this bread and why I make this bread, let's dive a bit deeper into the vast subject that is bread. At my local grocery store, seen here, there is a plethora of breads to choose from fresh-baked loaves to industrially produced loaves. You can find sourdough in both of these sections. It's becoming more and more popular to see sourdough in your local grocery store. The sales of sourdough bread grew 11% in just 4 years between 2015 and 2019. The sourdough industry is estimated at about $325.9 million and is only expected to grow from there. A burning question in my mind is, what about the environmental impacts of bread? Baking your own bread at home is better for the environment than purchasing one from the store. However, homemade bread still requires wheat, and the cultivation and growing of wheat accounts for 66% of total emissions when making bread. So, what can we do? We can start by making small, conscious changes every day, like using reusable beeswax to cover your dough as it rises instead of single-use plastic wrap. You may have noticed I did that very thing earlier when making my bread. Another thing you can do is to cut down on your consumption of animal products like meat and dairy. Bread has neither of those things. I'm a vegetarian, but I know there are so many more little things that I can change that will make a larger impact in the long run. Back to sourdough bread. Bread has been around for centuries and is in fact commonly seen in the Bible. The bread of Bible times sometimes included the flour of wheat and the flour of barley. This bread was described as a mix of wheat, barley, beans, lentils, and spelt. Now, of course, the ingredients are much different, but still similar. One of my favorite things about bread in general is its ability to take different forms, and how different jams, jellies, honeys, oils, and my personal favorite, butters, can change the flavor composition of just one slice of bread. Who knew bread could be so nuanced? A simple slice of bread is so much more than what's on the surface. We just have to be willing to dig in to see that.